Big Elvis, the chef Rosenberg, I am here. Just listen to about 8 of the 11 minutes that Andrew Tate, Joe Budden conversation. I know that we have Ish, Ice, Queen's Flip, and there's a new woman there I've never seen before who does a lot of talking. And this guy, Joe Budden, I remember when he first started his podcast, I listened to the first 80 podcasts from Joe Budden. And I think around 60 or 70 something, they got rid of the female co-host. And I was really happy about that. I was glad to see that he understood his audience and she wasn't necessary. So I always respected Joe Budden for the way he handled his podcast and how he brought in Rory and Moore. And I always liked Rory and Moore. I thought Rory, to me, was the standout. And Moore, I liked how, I remember the times when Joe Budden would actually reach out and pay for the Uber to get Moore to get his ass over to Park's basement or Park's garage. They would use, they were using that as the studio base. And I always have to say, man, I respect Joe Budden. I don't always agree with Joe Budden, and I just I'm a person, and I eat the meat and I leave the bones. I spit out the bones. Should I be doing and let me just say this. I never really come at Joe. When I had did a little thing about Ish a couple of times. I did 2 things about Ish. And that was the segment I was working on a few months back, which was say what now? What you said? So it was my say what now? What you said? Kind of segment. And Joe Budden, I never really go at him, even after what he did and said about Kevin Samuels when they said that he deviated from his original plan. What? Don't forget, Joe Budden and the rest of the crew, they were picking up Kevin Samuels' bags and treating him like a king. And then when he died, they talk about he deviated from his plan. So, we're dealing with what that's referred to when I was coming up, or that's a two-faced person. But Joe Budden is no one would disagree that he's a little bit two-faced, but he's also great at what he does. So was Rory and Moore, and then Joe Budden, he figured out a way to get out of that situation. I don't think it was contrived. I think it was tacky in the way it was done. If what happened was true. It was tacky as hell. But Rory and Moore bounced back in such a great way. I have to give them credit. Now we have Ish and Ice. Two deprecating I don't want to say, I want to say, what's the word I want to say? I'm not saying that they're both deprecating, but when they ask to tell us a little bit about yourself, Ish. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ice. There is a sense of self-deprecating going on. And there's also the whole, I'm an introvert, I don't really go out, very cliche, but I think it's fine, I think they add to the show, but I don't think they was able to add enough. Hence why they brought in Queen's Flip. Queen's Flip is now part of the ensemble. And now I see there's a woman there. I don't know anything about her. I told you, I watched the first 88, 90 episodes, and then I tuned out for about 6 months, and then I watched another, or listened. I never watched, I always listened to another maybe year and a half. And then when the debacle happened with him and with Rory and Moore, I kind of, was doing other things, and I've never tuned in really seriously after that. I've kind of just listened to a few clips. So despite how great Joe Budden is and what they had going, I kind of, the last 2 years, been a little wishy-washy on them. And as far as Rory and Moore is concerned, I was one of the people that paid to see their episode. I think they charged $2.99 or $1.99 for their first 2 episodes. I contributed. I was one of the 500,000 people that contributed to that. And that felt pretty good. And right now we have, so I'm just basically telling you, I'm not just picking clips to just go in on people. That's not what's happening. I'm actually picking clips that came through my feed. And as I'm driving on my way home to Red Hook, I pulled over here in the beautiful, this is not Fort Greene. What is it before Fort Greene? Wherever, it doesn't matter. I'm near downtown Brooklyn and Park Slope. So I'm pulled over in Park Slope where I have a Wi-Fi signal, and I'm pissed off. I'm triggered. I'm pissed off. I mean, it seems so easy to see. Like, in other words, is Joe Budden just being is he just bought and paid for? And, occasionally he has to go in on people and act like he does, like he doesn't have no idea. I'm so stuck in my bubble. I don't know what's going on in the world. I have no idea that this man is like the number one highest Googled person. And let me tell you, you can't be the number one most Googled person if you just got young men. It just wouldn't work. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the clip. Fair use. One more time. Fair use, y'all. And let's see what happens. Let's just listen to it. I started it all the way from the beginning. And we have this woman, I don't know who she is. And we have Ish and Ice. Ice, I don't get, respectfully. Ish, I get very irritated with Ish. So that's a good thing, As far as Queen's Flip is concerned, I never tune into Queen's Flip. Ever. I'm not into a man with his shirt off, running around, chasing after celebrities, and the celebrities are pretending like they didn't know that they were going to get their food slapped out of. So there's a celebrity, right? And the celebrity meets with Queen's Flip. Mind you, it's taken him 15 years to get to this point. But, he done local celebrities and big celebrities. And when I say big celebrities, I say T.I. or Flo Rida or something like that. Much respect to you, Flo Rida, for that lawsuit. I'm sure they will be appealing, and you will be getting nothing close to 82 mil, but great win in court today, by the way, or yesterday, whatever it was. And let me just say this. Queen's Flip, I never watched his show because I'm not into the chaos like that. Queen's Flip represents chaos at its... Queen's Flip is the guy who runs towards the hurricane, right? Puts on a tuxedo, and that's the way he's going to go kill himself. That's Queen's Flip. Queen's Flip is a guy in a tuxedo who's out of his damn mind running towards the hurricane. And I really don't want that for my internet. I just do not. It's just not my style. So I know of Queen's Flip. I've seen a lot of clips, and I think he was back in the days with the Vines. When Vine was popping, he was in the Vine world. So Queen's Flip is now part of this Joe Budden ensemble. So let's play it, and this is them going after Andrew Tate. And it appears that there was a show that they did throughout the week, because Joe Budden, from what I remember, was doing 3 shows a week. And I don't know how many he's doing now, but I'm sure that he keeps a very strong pace. I've never seen, I mean, his pace is, the man's work ethic is incredible. So much respect to that. Salute, big man. Hope all is well with thee. All is well with thee. And if you're listening to this, and don't forget, if you get any value out of this, I'm not here for free. Okay? $, Elvis Rosenberg. Hit the Cash App, express yourself. At Elvis-Rosenberg in the Venmo. Okay? Let's remember that. With that being said, and without further ado,
I went home and did some research after our last podcast. When I was trying to figure out who Andrew Tate was and get to the bottom of things. And
what'd you find?
I got some information.
Okay, let's hear it.
They was getting at this nigga. They was getting at Joe bad.
I don't see none of that.
I do.
That's Queen's Flip.
NPCs.
I don't know what that is, but I do.
Bots at NPCs.
So Queen's Flip is telling Joe Budden that there was some backlash after their previous show about Andrew Tate. And that in this backlash, he was reviewing it. Queen's Flip is basically letting Joe know that I read the comment section. And Joe is letting him know that most of the comment sections are full with NPCs, which are non-player characters. I will put in the description one of my takes on the non-player character and how to observe them and what they offer and what they represent and the meaning of that. I'm not sure if Joe looks at it the same. I have a feeling that Joe's idea of an NPC, a non-player character, it could be a double entendre where the non-player character is an actual person, in living, breathing person in a meat suit that he just doesn't see because, you know, you're nobody in his life and he doesn't need to acknowledge you. And then he could also be coming across the non-player character as just computers and these computer bots that are just running around following the algorithm and branching off into different comment sections and leaving all these comments and responding that way, algorithm based. So let's continue.
And NPCs, like when niggas that start just coming from a whole nother side of the town come over and start preaching that Chateau Adam that yesterday on AMP. All your little white boy scumbag niggas that's in your audience, we sophisticated on my side. You keep them little dirty, dusty ass niggas over there in your little biker game.
What nerve does Joe Budden, who has open-toe sandals many a nights, and he's picking his feet as he does the show? Let's not play that game, Joe. You're a feet picker. You pick your feet while doing your pod. Okay? And this dude, what's his name? Who's the engineer in there? Well, the engineer is probably not even, whatever the other guy's name is, he's probably purposefully zooming in whenever he does that to feed that need of the crowd that are into feet and watch, you know, that Quentin Tarantino crowd.
All right, over here, have some class when you bring your opinions. I told him that.
As if he has class.
Andrew Tate. This is what I've learned about Andrew Tate. More incels too. More of these NPCs out here, right? There's about, oh, you pander, no, the top G.
The top G?
That's his name. That's what he calls himself. Like Kevin Sanders called himself the Godfather.
Oh, he
calls himself the top G. So anyway, my research told me this. Andrew Tate was a clout chaser. That's it. An influencer.
Andrew Tate is the clout chaser, aren't we all?
Oh, okay.
Many years ago, many years ago, he was an amateur kickboxer. By his own admission, he wasn't making any money and he was broke.
You see, this is where I ask the question, is Joe Budden bought and paid for? Why would Joe Budden Budden. Why would he suggest that an amateur, why would he call him an amateur boxer, kickboxer, and then throw in there that he's admitted to not making any money? As if Joe doesn't understand the difference between what stops you, what does it take for you to become a professional at something? And that's when you get paid. So him not getting paid, why would he then say amateur when he was a 4-time champion? There's not going to be an article that goes out where they refer to you as a 4-time champion, and then you're going to find the article that says he was an amateur. So I think the way Joe Budden is holding his cell phone, possibly he's reading a script. Possibly he's got notes. And for him to say amateur and then preface it with, he even admittedly on his own, that he made no money. This seems a little bit like handler. This seems a little bit like you are reading what you're told to say. Just saying. Because Joe is the kind of guy, he don't ever want you to not think that he don't know the difference between an amateur and a professional. He's the guy who won't go on the stage if he sees one thing that looks a little bit unprofessional. So his wording means something. This is just such a good signal. I'm going to chill here for a minute. I just don't want to be in the way of the... Oh, shucks. That is garbage right there. Let me get away from the garbage can. Okay. Joe Budden would have just not let that go. So it didn't feel legit, so to speak.
He then did a reality show called Big Brother. Okay, so that makes you a reality television star.
Something that you were as well, Mr. Budden.
And he used to look a lot different. But he did the reality show Big Brother. He was kicked off of the show Big Brother because footage came out of him and a woman naked fighting, and he was beating her ass. They both...
It's interesting how he wants to talk about how classy his show is, but yet he says the word naked. Like, come on, Joe. What are you doing here? Sorry, I digress.
Later said that was staged. The woman continues to say it was staged.
Okay.
Right? But that's fine. Let's see. What else do we have?
Yeah, they're saying that he got kicked off of Big Brother because of some video of him slapping a woman around. The video did come out of him slapping the woman around, where I don't know if he was slapping her around, but he slapped her. It was done. They planned this. This is something that she wanted to experience. She wanted to experience that, you know, that aggression, that whatever that is. And she was it was totally consensual. And she's come forward many times and said, no. We were doing like some sort of like video, some sort of project. It was something that I totally consented to. So now, what I find interesting is that when he was kicked off of Big Brother, it was a little deeper than that. It wasn't about the slapping. What it was about, from my perspective and what I've, you know, what I've gravitated to, I'm sure when you're biased, you only can gravitate to certain, you know, things. So I'm over here reaching and looking for something. So forgive me if you see my shoulder off like this. I am so cotton-mouthed. So I'm searching my bag for something to drink. I have nothing. I have a few of these. One or two of these. But I also have this. Don't forget, if you've gotten any value out of this, the Cash App is $ ElvisRosenberg. And the Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. You know, it was a little more sinister than what we would, it was a little more sinister than like the slapping video. It was basically rape allegations that was brought about by these 3 women. And when Big Brother got whiff of this, I think he was there only a week, and he bounces. He's like, they kick him off the show. But what was also interesting about this situation was that the cops couldn't do anything with the evidence or with the information from the young ladies because they were able to retrieve text messages between the 3 of them. And the 3 ladies, one of them now alleges that she was only trying to find clarification on the drinking because she wanted, I think there was an issue where one of them might have been under the legal drinking age. So they were trying to clear up whether or not they were going to include "he got us drunk." So because there was that conspiring going on through text message, what happened was the case went nowhere. Boom, he's out of here. And that was around the same time that Kevin Samuel, Freudian slip there. You heard that? Well, that was the time where I'm over here just like playing with my jacket, zipping it up. This is a really, really good hybrid that I'm indulging in. So you're getting a little bit of that too. So forgive me. And I'm a bit parched. But I'm still focused because what happened was this was right around the time where he had this thing called Loverboy. It was an online way for you to figure out a way this is around the same time of the Big Brother, right after the Big Brother situation, I believe. Was it before the Big Brother situation? Or maybe right, it was before the Big Brother situation. It was something that he's done, and it was Loverboy. Do not quote me on that, I could be wrong. It's a really good hybrid. So what he did was he created this online site where you can become the lover boy in a woman's life. And what you do is you kind of show her, a new life that she can have. And by showing her this amazing life, you let her know that, listen, you can be part of this life too. You can be part of this life. If you want to just do it on your own, you can get ahead and do it on your own. But you're never going to have the life that you're going to have if I'm involved. Okay? So there was a running, like, I never took it literal because when I listened to the Loverboy stuff, he was talking about basically getting your girlfriend to start a cam business. And while she's in one room typing away, no, not typing away, getting dressed, showing off her feet, stepping on watermelon, while she's doing all these different things, what you do is you're going to now be on the other side of the other room on the actual laptop. So she can pretend that she's going to the laptop while she's stretching, she's topless, maybe she's playing with toys, depending on the level of your cam game. And what you now are doing is you are now talking to the men on the other line. They think that it's a girl talking to the man. So yes, he was promoting, listen, have this chick fall in love with you, show her that without you, she's only going to make half this amount of money. And you bust your ass to have these conversations with these men. And you control the situation because she ain't going to want to get up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? And then he was saying things like this, which was what everyone on the internet is going crazy about. He is saying that and you're going to make more money than she is, because what you're going to do is you're going to tell her, listen, I want half of whatever you make. You're going to make more money than you ever made in your life. So me getting half is worth it, because you can go ahead and do this on your own. Do it on your own. But you can't get up until 2 o'clock. And then you're gonna type to these men and talk to these men and finesse them. He used that word. He has that weird accent from a man who's traveled and been around a lot of people. And he talks about finessing these men. And he would like really grab their hearts and just like let them know that she really was thinking about them. And she was like, you were on my mind, and I thought about you like 3 times while I was in the store. I was just getting a cup of coffee, and I remember the thing you said 2 weeks ago about your brother. So they get these men locked in. And that was what he was promoting, this lover boy concept. Get your girl to get on that cam. And of course, they're looking at it in a way where they're saying, nah, you're trying to coerce this girl. Mind you, it's cam. There is no touching whatsoever. This is just, you are on the webcam and you are doing what you want to do. And if you really follow these rules that I set forth, is what he was saying. I'm paraphrasing, of course. You can have this. Oh, I got 2 cases of water here. I'm bugging. It's right back here. Wifey bought 3 cases of water, and I only brought in 1. I was like, I got the other 2 when I come back, because I was in such a rush. Now I feel better. So he was like, this is what he was telling them. He was like, yo, so these men were paying for this course. And in this course, he was giving you some of his experiences and the things he had to do. What he said was like, listen, your girl, you're going to tell her you're going to get half. So that means that she's going to get 5,000, you get 5,000. But what you have to tell her is that she has to pay taxes and that you're not taking any chances with the government whatsoever. Salute to you as well. That's somebody East. Let me see. J-A-E. East. You are appreciated. And what he was saying was, yo, you tell her, listen, you're only gonna get the 2,000. The other 3,000 is for your taxes, because you're in a certain tax bracket now. You're making more money now. You're paying this, that, and the other, and I'm not going to take any chances. So he would then lie, and he would tell you to lie to your girl too, because the last thing you're going to want to do is have this woman have more money banked up more than you, and next thing you know, she's talking shit to you. Next thing you know, she's telling you to go get my coffee, go get my laundry, go this, go that, and now she's emasculating you because a woman, that's the way they are. It's just, it's just chemicals and all this kind of stuff. It's just, you start making a lot of money, you're going to start acting real funny. That's just the way it goes, because it's unnatural. Sorry, but that's true. So now, he was like, yo, he was getting a nice little following. It was popping for him. So that's when he was like, you know what? Let me I think he did the Big Brother thing, right? And some of the women that were pissed off at him about whatever, you know, this is work. I'm sure there was days that he's hiring somebody to type all day, and you over here talking about you got cramps. And he's like, listen, so maybe there was conflict and scheduling conflicts and whatever have you, people conflicts. And then I believe he was sleeping with some of these women, and all consensual, of course. But the allegations are that in this particular time in his life, he was trying to brainwash the women and swindle the government at the same time, and lie to the women and then rob the women. So a lot of these women, they probably knew that too, you know, like, you know, they're making $10,000 a week, $10,000 a month. They start saying to themselves, like, yo, this dude is playing me. I could do this. He keeps telling me I could do it myself. Watch, I'm going to do it myself. And there might have been a little bit of an allegation that there was possibly a holding of a passport. That he might have said to a chick, no, I ain't giving you your passport. You got stuff to do. Get that done. You made a promise. Stick to your contract. I don't know. He appears to be aggressive enough to be the kind of guy to do this. It doesn't seem far-fetched. You know, I can see, like, my younger brother, I love him so much, but I could see him. He'll be the first one. Everybody give up your IDs. You can leave whenever you want, but you're not just leaving unannounced, without us knowing, okay? We have scheduling to do here. We have people that need to be put in the right places, and I wake up in the morning and 3 girls left. That's not good. You want to leave? See such and such in the morning, and she'll give you your information. So I don't think they're able to really get him on that, because I think it's something more along those lines. That's my interpretation of that whole withholding passports, you know? It's not that he's saying you can't leave, but you gotta let us know when you're leaving. Like, we're not having a girl walking to the airport and being dramatic, trying to catch a cab with $20,000 in their pocket because of all the money they stacked up in the last 3 months. And next thing you know, you got 3-4 guys coming over here trying to take my life because they helped you down some road at some middle of the night kind of situation. So, you know, it's layers to it. It's called context, right? We need context. Where's the context in any of this? And in a second, we're going to talk about more of that.
Human trafficker.
Mm-hmm. That's what we went over,
Right.
I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alleged.
That's not a alleged
name.
No, this part is not alleged.
It's alleged.
Fair
It's
use.
not alleged.
Fair
Well,
use.
we have to say it's alleged. But shortly after Big Brother, let's see, both said a role playing. Oh, works with the Romanian mafia. Oh, his mom doesn't speak to him. He has no relationship with his mom. Dad abused mom, and he blames mom for it.
I never heard of this. This is news to me, that he doesn't get along with his mother, and his dad abused the mother, and he blamed the mom for it. I don't know any of that. But let me also say this to you. Kids are not stupid. Kids are not stupid. They know when mommy crazy. They know that if mommy don't have her coffee and her volume, she is going to kill someone on the train today. Kids know this. Let's not play that game.
I think that's important to note when you dig into this guy. Dad, it was a black chess wizard, Andrew Tate. Also, in speaking about his family, who he's not very close to, he said his youngest sibling has a very low IQ, and nobody gives a fuck about the third sibling. That's like the bronze medalist.
Damn.
Why would anyone care about a bronze medalist? Let's see, what else?
I've never heard that neither. So we're saying that Andrew Tate has an issue with the brother. The third brother refers to him as a bronze medalist because he's the third on the list, the third to come out. And all I can say to that is that we all have siblings that we can't stand. What does that mean? I have a sibling that probably has nothing nice to say about me. Thinks I'm a complete whatever. Thinks I am absolutely that. And, you know, that's the way family is. Doesn't always, you know, work out. So it's possible he did that. I'm sure we can all relate. Humans, I mean.
He said that Meghan Markle was not black and that she should cook chicken and serve it to him so she can prove her blackness to him.
Okay, that's another thing I never heard. I heard him say that he's blacker than her and that she's not black. And, you know, because there's always the thing where, especially looking at his brother appears to be super Anglo. Whereas for Tate, he does a lot of, he stays in Dubai. He lives part-time in Dubai, so he's very tanned from being out there in that desert. And with the bald head, it definitely blackened him up. And he has full lips as well. And the brother too has full lips, but he has such an Anglo haircut and hair texture that, you know, it's very funny that he's always saying how black he is, because if you don't know this, Andrew Tate's father was a black man here in America who was also a chess champion. And Andrew Tate says things like, my father worked for the CIA, and the reason why they were so poor was because the father refused to accept the pension, because in order for him to accept the pension, he would have to concede to mental illness, and he never wanted to do that. So this is why they were so poor, and this is why there was such a rift between the father and the mom, because she was like, yo, what's the big deal? Sign the paper. We need to pay rent. Like, come on. What are you doing? So, wow. I've retained a lot of information about this man in the last few months. Let's continue.
It's not alleged. These are the things the top G are defending. You look like you're unsure. But they didn't allow those texts to be admissible, so that was dismissed. What else do we have about here?
This is so sad that he's reading from his iPhone the whole time. And I hope iPhone is giving him a check, because if they're not, he needs to cover that back of the where the camera part is, because it's just ridiculous. The audience is too big for you not to be getting something from iPhone. I've already said iPhone over 4 times. So you're holding an iPhone and you're saying massive misinformation. Everything he just said, it's like context, like when did it happen? Oh, the voicemail. And those were the voicemails that the cops said that they couldn't use. Like, stop it. Like it's like Joe is playing this, he's playing this uninformed idiot. Like his retention of information is not that of an IQ of 148. You're retaining information right now as if your IQ is a 72. And that's not you, Joe. Even though Joe always says, he used to, I don't know if he still does, but he would always say things like, oh, my memory's bad. That's not true. That was all bull. Some sort of, I don't know what the word is when you do that, when you you know, self-deprecating, talking badly about yourself, and, you know, but yet you can retain this information. The way I am on this amazing sativa, I'm still able to reach and grab information, and he is in a situation where he's reading from his iPhone, and he's, I think, purposefully doing this. That's why the thumbnail begs the question, is Joe Budden's bought and paid for? What say you?
Oh, he runs a war room now, some subscription shit where he was taping girls. Well, that's different. Before, when he was human trafficking, he was taping women in dungeons. And these women were from all over the world, which is how you have the trafficking come in, and he was making them do wild shit. That's what I gathered on this guy.
Do we want to play the
Now, why
recording?
do you, huh?
Do you want to play the recording?
Have a blast.
Okay.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turn
Fair
around.
use. Fair use.
Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to.
Joe Budden.
That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ. I thought you were cool. What's wrong?
Thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Andrew Tate contacted numerous minors in Romania, offering to take them on
I've
dates and
never
bragging
heard
about his cars. Most of the
about
girls were
minors.
16. One girl, he messaged a strawberry. He also admitted to fucking 16-year-olds when he was 21 years old.
I never heard of that neither.
I can go on and on about the things that are not alleged about this man. He's said and done a bunch of wild shit. He's a nomad between the U.S. because I was wondering why the U.S. was so fascinated with this guy. But apparently he spent.
Well, let's go real quick to the recording. That's obviously some sort of, you know, you take a bunch of words from people, you can put it together, and you know, very easily done on a program. There's no context as to what she's saying. I didn't think he said anything that was that ridiculous. Why do I enjoy? I've said that to women. You know, I've been known to say something like that to a woman. You know, like, you know, I used to know a woman. She used to just be like, "Why you never call me?" And I say, "Because I'm a pig. I'm a horrible person. I never call you because I'm a pig, and I have no respect for you. Had I had respect for you, I would have valued your time, and I would have made sure that I was deliberate in my attempts to be around you and not be so vague. But because I have so zero respect for you and anyone like you, I've said that to a person. It didn't stop them from screwing me. They didn't love themselves enough to just walk away and just be like, I'm blocking you forever. That's not true. I'm sure I've been blocked. Well, was there a time back then, was there even blocking available? You know? But anyway, let me just say this. I've said stuff like that, and I've said it in like role play settings. And all role play settings are not done in situations where the role play settings are not done just face to face. There's going to be emails and text messages of just, you know, horrible things to each other. That was a time where, like back in the days, like when I was coming up, we were the start of that whole, you know, sending the D pics. You know, now I know if you send a D pic to a woman, she's totally insulted. She's like, oh, no, you didn't do that. How dare you? I don't want to see anything like that. You know, women don't have that stuff no more. Whereas there was a time where it was like, whoa, okay. All right, I like you even more now. Thanks for letting me see what you're working with. But nowadays, that's like, you know, you can't even dream about doing that anymore. I wouldn't dream of sending a woman a D pic. That's like, you're gonna get canceled. Don't do that. Men, if you're listening, Do not send women D pics. Stop it. That time is past. It's over. There has to be a whole new reinventing of the wheel, so to speak, on ways to there got to be other ways. There are going to be other ways. People will figure out other ways to send the proverbial D pic. But men, please, I'm telling you, don't do it anymore. Stop it. No D pics. They don't even do it. Especially if you got something nice to show. Don't even do it. Don't even show it. Leave it a mystery. They'll want you more. That's a fact. Okay, let's continue. So all that stuff with the voicemail, it's all out of context. What about what she's saying? She's probably like, Daddy, yes, Daddy, I love it when you treat me like that, Daddy. You know, they leave that part out. Of course, they have to. But that's if it's real. That sounds like a computer-generated crap. It didn't even sound good.
He was born in D.C.
So he spent time here. His family is from a really poor part of the UK. I forgot what the name of it is.
He's not from the UK. His father from here.
But why am I supposed to give a fuck about this guy?
You're not?
Because that was my question last pod. Why everybody? Now I have a better understanding of why there's so much commotion out there. I don't feel like it's manufactured. This nigga's a nut. Mm-hmm. He's a nut. But I don't subscribe to his name being put in the same breath as Kevin Samuels.
For those of you that are listening to this and driving, and you can't like pay attention to or look at me when I'm speaking right now, I didn't roll my eyes, but I looked intensely at the circle when he said that. Like, for this man to ever talk about anyone's state of mind, I'm doing that face again. Come on. Joe, respectfully, come on. You're the last person who needs to be talking about anyone being nuts. Okay? Come on.
So all this nigga's a menace to society. Like, I don't give a fuck that he markets himself well. Like, I don't get it.
There's a lot of people that just feel like whenever the Andrew Tate conversation is brought up, first of all, you cannot argue about this man online because, I mean, his legion of fans are there. It's another level. You know, you can't say anything about him without getting attacked.
Yeah, but those are fans of everything that I just said.
Yeah.
So why do I want to have?
What's crazy is that people, whenever he's brought up in conversation, people will always justify something that he said that happened to make sense. But I always answer that with like, a broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's the overall ideology that is terrifying. He is a violent misogynist. Whoa. And he's out there promoting these ideals to people who, you know, a few of them are probably 2 sandwiches short of a picnic. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's like, it's not necessarily.
What are you saying, love? That the people that listen to Andrew Tate, a few of them? That represents 3. So you're saying a third, possibly. A third of the people that listen to Andrew Tate are 2 sandwiches short of a picnic. Another mental illness reference on this show. Wow.
About the messenger, but the message just being conveyed to people who are going to be extremely irresponsible with it and take it to the ends of the earth. And that's what makes him so terrifying. That's why so many social.
Oh my God. This woman, I don't know who she is. She's saying that they're going to take Andrew's message to the end of the earth. And they're going to run with it. I didn't hear this. I got to her part. But, my God, they're terrified of this man. This is just a man. Insane. Saying to the world. On the Tate followers are going to take his message to the end of the world. All I hear is fear. All I hear is fear. All I hear is terror and fear from this woman. To the ends of the earth, they're going to take a message 2 sandwiches away from a picnic. And they started this conversation using the word incel. And anybody that knows me knows how I feel about incels. And if you don't know how I feel about incels, it's time for you to start tuning in a lot more. Stop playing with me. $ ElvisRosenberg. That's the cash app.
Media platforms tried to, ban this guy because his messaging was so.
Yeah, he's been in that for a while. He's been in it for a while. That was the other thing.
What's amazing
is
he's
been around for a little while, just becoming increasingly nutty as he goes.
And he self-described, I'm the most dangerous man on the planet.
And y'all
increasingly nutty as he goes, whereas they're using all of the stuff to get this man is all from his past. This is not an increasingly nutty guy. This is a guy who's increasingly connecting.
have at it. Listen, there's someone on the internet for everybody.
I'm asking,
But this ain't my bag.
because I'm looking. You seem like you disagree with a lot of this.
I do disagree with a lot.
Oh wait, hold on. Some of the shit that he does and some of the things that he says, I do not agree with. But there is a bigger picture here of some things that he does and that he says that I do agree with.
Like
This is ish.
what?
The war room that you spoke about. Do you know what that is or no?
Vaguely, from what I researched.
What is it?
Some subscription shit that he does with powerful people from all over the world.
So basically like a masterclass type thing?
It's bigger than that.
Joe is so vague. Oh, you don't want to read your iPhone anymore, buddy?
Similar to a low-level masonry of sorts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just other things that when he speaks about, and there's some things that
But
he
what
talks
about
about.
that?
He has a group of younger boys that he kind of tries to mentor in a manner.
Again, younger boys. Younger boys. He has a group of younger boys. What? Are you kidding me? The Vice debacle that they pulled out of their ass, that Vice crap that they did, what they call that, a hit piece? The hit piece that Vice did, let's just go there. The hit piece that Vice did, the men there paid $5,000 to be there, to have an opportunity to meet Andrew Tate and his brother. And those were not younger boys, younger men. No, these are grown men. These are men with money. These are men that are looking at their lives and say, I'm ready for something else. I'm ready to level up. I'm ready to get out of the matrix. And it's going to cost me $49 a month. And every once in a while, I get to spend $5,000 and go see this person? You think those are children? You think those are boys? You think these are boys that are going to run to the ends of the earth with this message and tear the whole world apart? That's what you think? Okay. There are men here. Okay? There are men here.
Of self-sufficiency, of
This is the guy that you want mentoring young boys.
Again, young boy.
Off rip, I got a problem with a man who's disrespectful and has problems with his mother. Like off rip.
Who are you? Who is this woman? Off rip, I got a problem. Who are you? Don't nobody care about your problem. Are you kidding me? Who are you, lady? Who are you?
That's always going to be a red flag for me, you know?
Same, but there's 20 million reasons to have a problem with all of the things that we just
Absolutely.
listed. And your response to that was the media could misrepresent someone?
My response was that I could list 20 things about you that somebody could have a problem.
You don't hear her.
Boom!
Let me...
Boom! I could list 20 things about you, Joe Budden. Budden. I could name 20 things about you, sir, that people wouldn't like. 20. Easy. Easy peasy. There's just too much glare in this lens. Let me see what else I got here. Thank you, Ish. Say what now? What you said? So much better. I didn't get the anti-glare with these. I dropped the ball. I won't be doing that again. Yeah, Ish. Yeah. 20 things about you, Joe, we could come up with. Easy. Easy. I'm looking for my eyeglass cleaner, and my it's like a little towelette. Here we go. Boom. It was on the bottom of the bag. 20 things, easy, about you, sir. Real easy, light, easy. You want to talk about this man and the 20 things that you just let off, and you mad because I'm saying something about the war room that you vaguely kind of heard about in passing, but he still got young boy. You see, Ish, I like Ish now. I'm joking. I still don't like Ish. And it's not that I don't like Ish, I just, I'm on the Rory and Maul tip still. Ooh, no. Run, Elvis. Run, honey. All right, it's a little better. Boom. Let me see. You see, I got rid of that glare. That glare was everywhere. Driving me crazy. I was lifting my seat up, lowering my seat, trying to get uncomfortable just to get that glare out. I've had these for, my oldest is 24. I think she was 14 when I got them. Or 15. Something like that. 14, 15 when I got them. I just remember that because she went with me to get them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this not in the bottom of my bag. I'm going to put it right here. Boom. Look at that case. How nice is that case? You can run over this case and my glasses is going to be gravy. Let's never test that out though. So now, yeah, Joe, 20 things about you, easy. Easy. Come on. Easy.
Let me finish. I could list 20 things about you, and somebody, matter of fact, I don't even got to list them. People say the same things about you every single day. And the people that know, let me finish, Joe. The people that know you and love you defend you on a daily basis.
They do not. No one has ever called me a rapist.
They might have.
No one's
They
ever
might not have
accused
called
me of
you
rape.
those things.
No one has audio of me saying I enjoy raping. No, never mind it, because last week when I wasn't so informed, like you said, there are things that he says I agree with and things that he says that I don't agree with. I think that this nigga is menacing enough for that to be important to you to want to separate what you agree with from this nigga who's on tape saying some of this stuff.
And the reality.
Tony Yayo. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. I need you not to like find any good in this man, sir. What's wrong with you? Don't you know they paying us for this? That was, whoa.
The situation.
And from a nigga who they are trying to get for human trafficking and sex trafficking. They have girls that have come forward and said, yo, this nigga's been bugging out. Now, why they can't get him, that's not on me. But no, I don't think that anything anybody's ever said about me is on the same levels as I don't.
But do you not
And the media can misrepresent anybody. So that's a very vague point. I want to focus on the things that we know for.
So the media represented him. These are facts that I'm speaking about this guy. And what the media did to me has nothing to do with what the media is doing to him, because he's admitted to all this stuff. Didn't you just hear the voicemail? And you want to now link him and I like you, Ish. I didn't like what you said about Kevin Samuels. After you picked up his bags and treated him like a king, you were, acting real funny style, talking about he deviated from his original plan. I thought that was real sucker of you. But I think I'm over it now. I'm over it. I'm on the Ish train right now.
Certain about him, which is there's a case and they got audio and there's victims. Got it. Now, how y'all subscribe to that is totally on y'all. But I get lost when you nutcases out there start coming with people I need to be talking about. I don't give a fuck about Andrew Tate.
Do you not,
and I ain't hear a reason why I should.
Do you not believe in growth though? Is meaning like
Stop it,
no.
Stop
Wait,
it.
no.
Hey, yo, let me check this
Yeah,
out. Let
yeah,
me preface this with this.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them niggas that joined a frat, a sorority. I'm not in the group think. I'm not one of them niggas that I wasn't in the boys club, Boy Scout. I wasn't none of that shit where you got to sign you up.
That's because, respectfully, Joe, you were under a bitch. You was up under a woman. While your boys were running around and joining groups, you were under a bitch. That's a fact. You was in love. Over and over again, you in love, nigga. And I say that respectfully. You were under a bitch. That's why you never joined any groups. That's why you never did any of the things you say you do. But let me tell you what you did do. You became the leader of your group. And you had more for years. And you was comfortable with more being your entourage, homeboy, for life. And you saw an opportunity. If this is all real, you saw an opportunity to do what? Make this man a millionaire, and you backed out. He had to he had to make himself a millionaire because you just couldn't do it. You talk about Andrew Tate taking money. Well, you didn't talk about that, but they talk about Andrew Tate taking money from the girls. Andrew Tate's attitude is like, on her own, she's going to make $1,000, $2,000 a week. With me, she's going to gross $10,000. I'm going to make sure she walks away with $4,000. She's doubling whatever she was going to make before, and the rest of it, I'm moving on. Sir, you can relate to that. You, sir, can relate to that. Let's not play that game, Joe.
To just come into some group type of thinking. All that shit that these lonely niggas who never had no friends is doing, looking up to weirdos on the internet, that's not my bad. Like I have.
That's where you're mistaken. Nothing lonely about me. I got a wife, 17, 18 years. I'm a 1%er as far as money's concerned. I have friends for years. I have people that love and care about me. I get out and I go places, and people respect me when I walk in the door. So for you to say that, you don't know what you're talking about. Everyone just keeps thinking that this whole world is just wrapped around all these incels looking for somebody to be, to just, that they're only attracting that. And that's not true. That's not true at all. Because there are men out here, real leaders, shakers, movers. Let me tell you something. I moved the crowd. I remember when I was in prison, I went to prison, right? That's where I got my GED. I always tell everyone. I got my GED, and I don't always, but I started to tell people. I got my GED in the prison when I was 18 years old. And let me tell you this, though. I only studied 3 days for the math. Because when I went into the prison system, they were doing the GED test in 2 weeks. They did it every so often. So when I got in there, they were saying, yeah, they're going to do the GED test in 2 weeks. You have to take a practice test. We're doing the practice test the next day or so. You want to take the practice test? I said, sure, let's do it. I took the practice test. They say, listen, you didn't do well at all in the math, but everything else you did amazing. So we want to put you down for taking the test. So I took the test. And I studied the last 3 days the math, and I wound up doing really well, and I aced the, mind you, this is I was the guy who never went past the 7th grade, but yet I was still able to take the GED test with 3 days practice, and after years and years of not even being in that kind of situation or environment. So I know how to motivate the crowd. I know how to motivate people because I know what it takes to make things happen. You cannot go to the 7th grade and then that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Now you're 18, 4 years later. You ain't walked into school in 4 years. And when you walk into school, you ace it. Who's those kind of people? Those are shakers and poppers. Those are leaders. That's what I am. I'm a leader. I'm a man's man. I walk in a room and the men in the room recognize strength and they all want to be my friend. These are facts. People all the time are saying, Elvis, let me know what you're doing next because I want to be down. I want to be down. I want to be down. I want in. So for this person here, Joe, to just believe that, or I don't even think it's a belief, but him to push the agenda that this is all about weak men that are sitting at home and not making things happen. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what's happening here. This is about very smart, strategic men. Because I know my portfolio could go up against some heavy hitters, man. I got some good friends that are in the in the stock world, and they've taken a look at my portfolio and they're like, wow, you are a natural. And that's only because I recognize that it wasn't real. It wasn't based on supply and demand. It wasn't based on anything. If a tweet can change the stock market, then it's not real. And when you got a guy like me who's been to the, who's been dropped off in the middle of hell and comes and came out with scars and scratches and some pain, but use that as a way to express himself or to motivate the crowd or to succeed, there's a lot I'm a man's man. My mother told me before she died, she says, you are a man. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. She says, that's one thing about you. She says, since you were 14 years old, she said, I always knew you was a man. I was like, wow. Okay. All right. you know, and this was like on her deathbed, you know, the times that we had a few times to talk, you know, before she passed. And it's nothing but truth in that. There's nothing but truth in that. And Joe triggers me when he says things like, you know, these are just a group of lonely incels that just can't, like, what? I have to laugh at the tomfoolery of this man. And it just seems like the fear in that woman's voice earlier, and to hear Joe say what he's saying, and then to come at Ish for trying to say, dude, what are you talking about? This same could be said about you. Much respect to Ish. I'm sure he'll have to go run and get a show of his own soon. I'll tune into that. Let's continue.
My own level of discernment. I have my own way I process things. Yes, like y'all saying very vague things. Yes, I think people can change.
Thank you.
What the fuck do that have to do with this accused rapist who there's audio of and victims from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to court for mine. I don't even like my name being brought up in that. I went to court for mine. I went to anything somebody said about me, I went right to court. Hey, let's do it. Let's chop it up. I ain't do none of this.
No, Joe Budden.
All right. That's the end of that clip. I think it was an 11-minute clip. You are appreciated for tuning in to this. Man, you got to know a little bit more about me, you know, which is pretty cool. I enjoy that. I respect what Ish did. That was really, really good. That was really, really good. You know, don't forget, if you gotten any value out of this, I implore you to hit the Cash App, to hit the Venmo, Cash App, $, Elvis Rosenberg, one word. The Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. And I love you, and I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. T, really, I saw that where you said message was retracted. I did catch it, though. You said that you weren't notified. And all I can say to you is, it happens. Everyone on YouTube complains about it. There isn't a person on YouTube that doesn't complain about it. But I'm glad you came when you did. Make sure you share this on the platform that you have. If you have 22 subscribers or you have 22,000 subscribers, share this with a friend. Put it on your community page. You don't have to just press the like button. You can actually share onto your community page with the people. You are appreciated. And I love you. That's a fact.